Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your spirit message reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again, a message not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is a scammer. This person is not me. Do not be scammed by them. All right, with that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Cancer. Spirit message for Cancer, 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 Cancer. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. Fantastic. Now let's see your chakra energy for this time. Cancer. Spirit message for Cancer. Cancer. Spirit message for Cancer. Cancer. Spirit message for Cancer. Cancer. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. So we have here self-mastery, which is the solar plexus chakra. And then we have here angels and masters, angels and divinity. And this is the soul star chakra, located 6 inches above the crown. So let's see how this correlates to the tarot. We have the 8 of Wands, and we have the 3 of Wands. Interesting. The Emperor, which is Aries energy, time frame March 21st to April 19th, and Justice, Libra energy, September 22nd to October 20th. Libra energy, September 23rd, there we go, to October 22nd. Then we have the Daughter of Swords, which is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, very much amplifying the Libra energy. And we have the Devil, which is Capricorn energy, time frame December 22nd to January 19th. We have the 8 of Swords and the Daughter of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, amplifying the Aries energy here. We have the repeat of the number 8 coming forward, right? And that's going to mean that we have that 3 times. So that is going to mean that this time is going to be taken very seriously. And what Spirit is saying is kind of step back from the seriousness just a bit. And I know that sounds hard, but because you're going to get so like laser focus. It's like there's one thing and there's one way and that's it. And Spirit's saying know there's more ways forward. There's more than what you're seeing here. So step back, kind of look at the bigger picture, look at what the greater thing of what is wanted, what is desired to come forward. And that's going to be a game changer. We start off here with self-mastery. And this is a sense of embracing this power, this truth of self, this falling into alignment with what you want and where you're headed, and being brave. There's an element here, Cancer, of being brave and calling forward this power. And it brings us to being protected by the angels, by the spirit guides. And this energy is kind of raining down on us during this time. And with the self-mastery, okay, listen to your gut. Your gut is going to easily tell you what's good for you, what isn't. You'll have gut reactions. And because this wisdom is raining down on you, you might sit there in this power and say, oh, can I do this? Can I move forward this way? Can I not? Do I really know? Because the healing is coming forward. The angel guidance is coming forward. And it makes us feel a little out of whack at times, especially if we're new to opening up to the way Spirit is guiding us, to the way, our angels want us to move forward. And what we're going to see here is that if we start to listen to ourselves, if we start to fall into alignment with where we need to be, with where we want to be, with what it is that we desire, things start to speed up, things start to change. We get swept along in a way that Spirit's saying, this is the road. This is the road to where we want to be. This is how we want to open up our eyes. This is the desire that we have. And so here, it's getting swept up in something beautiful. It's moving forward in something profound. And it's looking at things in a very different way, because we're going to start to see our ships coming in. We're going to start to see the color after all the gray, after all the monotone, after all the, sameness, after all the, I don't know if I can move forward the way that I want to. And this becomes a game-changing time. And that's why Divinity is saying here, Spirit is saying, don't get caught up in the details, because it's going to be too easy. Don't get caught up in the little minutia of things. Look at the big picture of what it is that you desire. Look at the big things that are truly, absolutely, and undeniably important to you, and march forward in that truth. And so here with the Emperor, there is a sense of really looking at that passion, because remember, the Emperor, Aries energy, is the warrior. And warriors back in ancient times, emperors back in ancient times, they were warriors. The really great ones were the warriors, were the ones that people would rally behind. We look at our modern days and we value kindness and respect and compassion. But in ancient times, in medieval times, those were signs of astounding weakness. If you said, I value my ruler because he is kind, people would laugh at you and say, well, why would you follow him? That type of thing. And here, it's not saying to be ruthless, but it's saying to really get in touch with that primordial power, with that sense of, this is who I am. And I can worry up and down the Mississippi about how everybody will feel about this, or how I will be looked at. And what Spirit is saying is you have to be true to yourself, and you have to stand in strength and in security of self to be able to move forward. And the chaos of the world, the chaos of what is around us, that can easily move us from our path. And so here with the Emperor, it's like stand tall, grow tall, grow firm in your power, in your understanding, in your brilliance, in your glory, and defend your truth, defend your dreams, your speech, your essence. And it brings us to justice, because justice was always a card that tripped me up in the tarot, because it is a sense of justice coming forward. But if you are just to everybody, you are just to none, right? And that doesn't seem like a very modern way to think, but it's the good of the many instead of just simply the good of the individual. Sometimes we have to make tough choices, and sometimes we look at things and we think, ooh, how do I move forward in this? And what Spirit is saying is to step back into your power, step back into your truth. As a water sign energy, emotions very much guide the situation. And what you're being told here is to be the daughter, is to be the student, the learner of your mind and your passion. And this is a time where, yes, emotions are important, and they will always be intrinsically important to you. But if you let them take over, if you try to be everything for everyone, or try to put everybody else's needs before your own, you will be doing yourself a disservice, because the justice that you need, the power that you need, the truth that you need within yourself is to be discerning and so often we don't want to be. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We don't want to say the wrong thing. We don't want people to think the wrong thing about us. And so here it's saying, but we have to be true to who it is that we are. We have to be true to our voice and ourselves and our concerns and our joys and our happiness. And if that means that we don't want certain people in our lives, that's okay. If that means we embrace being a more private person than we think the world wants us to be, that's okay. If we embrace, moving forward, if being in justice with ourselves means leaving the chaos of the world and saying, I want a more spiritually, profound existence. I want to connect with my heart and my soul and myself. Then again, that's okay. And there's a part here where we have to look at the shadow side of ourselves, and we have to look at the self that we let the world see. The self that we want everybody to believe, and then the self that holds the monster. Every human being holds a monster, whether we want to believe it or not. And that monster, that intensity of being, needs to be looked at and said, I'm not letting you out. I'm not giving into the chaos. I'm not letting the chaos rule me. I'm embracing my truth and my power forward. I'm embracing my ability to see the darkness in the world and not to be swept away by it, because it's the person who sees the monster. And Spirit is very, very emphatic about this, is that when we see the darker side of ourselves, when we see the side that when the lights are turned off, and we see within, and we look really deep, and instead of saying, oh, I could never, it's saying, oh, wow, I could be pushed that far. I could get that angry. I could be that person. But I choose not to. I choose to always keep the spiritual checks and balances in order. That changes the eyes. And the eyes are the window to the soul. Because there's a fierceness there now. There's a realization. There's a conquering. There's a war that has been won. And that becomes a powerful truth. And it leads us to being the daughters, to being, when I see the daughters of swords, of wands, I remember this old little, I don't know if it's a nursery rhyme or just a saying, but it's something my mom would always say. And, my grandma would say it and my great-grandma. And it's, a daughter is a daughter for all of her life. A son is a son till he takes a wife. Now, whether that is true or not, who knows. But that's what I'm seeing here. It's like these, being the daughter of the mind is being the person who takes on the traditions. It's kind of like in Judaism, the religion goes by the mother. So here it's that sense of the knowledge, the truth. It is within the feminine soul. And that's what Spirit is saying here. It's like letting that part of the feminine soul come forward, letting the knowledge, letting the truth, but also letting the fierceness. We always think of the sacred feminine. We always think of, the Mother Earth as this loving, caring, compassionate being. And yes, that's one side. But there's also the ferocity. There's also the hailstorms and the tornadoes and the hurricanes that are part of Mother Earth too. So with the Queen of Swords, with the Princess of Swords, with the Daughter of Swords, there is this sense of learning the extent of the power of the mind, learning the extent and the embrace of the power of the breath, and seeing how that opens up the world. And it brings us to the devil, because it's like we start to see the jewels within the darkness, right? We start to see the beauty within the cage. And it's not that the cage is beautiful. It's that we see the confines of our world and our limitations as human beings. But we start to see the beauty of the humanity. And then that brings us to the devil. And the devil is this being that says you can't. The devil is the chains around the neck that say, I will keep you held down. And whether this is a social construct, whether this is the doubts within our own heads, whether this is, the addictions that, we're trying to conquer, or the temper that we're trying to conquer, what we're seeing here, or self-doubt is another devil that is tied around us. Whatever the burden is, this is the understanding of that burden. It is the naming of that burden. Because that's the first thing. First, we have to name it. First, we have to see it. And then we can release ourselves from it. Not all at once, unfortunately, but in the sense of truth and of power, in the sense of brilliance and of understanding. And in this determination, we guide ourselves forward. And what it is here is, as we become a student of the mind, as we hone our skills, remember, the swords are the only weapon within the tarot. And that weapon is the weapon that cuts through the nonsense, the bull. That is the weapon that made nobility, okay, that kingdoms were literally forged by. And it brings us to the doubts and the fears and the darkness that say you can't have that kingdom. You can't forge that way forward. You don't get to have that prosperity. And there is a key to remember that the devil is the construct of pagan nature gods, pagan gods of chaos. So the chaos becomes the bad thing. But chaos isn't always the bad thing. Sometimes we need the chaos to see the way forward, to embrace the calm, to understand the truth. And this becomes the power and the ferocity to guide us to something more. And this is the time where we look at, Spirit keeps on saying the noose around the neck, and say, no, this is not what is going to be my destiny. This is not how I am going to live my life. And I'm embracing this discernment as I become the warrior, as I become the power for this transformation. And the Eight of Swords is this doubt. It's like, can I move forward? Do I know what I want? Do I know where I want to be? It's people live in the Eight of Swords their whole entire life, second guessing every single step they take, being completely overwhelmed, not knowing the way forward. And the Eight of Swords here is being looked at, is being realized, and it's saying, no, I'm not in the cage anymore. And when I was in the cage, it was the cocoon. It was the cocoon that makes me into the person that I need to be. My nephew loves The Hungry Caterpillar, and I know this might be going off topic, but, it's here that butterfly is coming out of the cocoon. And the hungry caterpillar goes around eating absolutely everything, right? To be able to transform into the butterfly. Well, if we see ourselves as conquering every demon in order to become the butterfly, taking it all on until it becomes hard to move, until the darkness seems to be overwhelming. And that's when we have the choice, and we always have the choice. It's like, do I transform or do I stand in the darkness? Can I be brought with my angels, with my spirit guides, to the light, to the beauty that I want? Or is this always going to be an endless struggle? And the Princess of Wands, the Page of Wands, the Daughter of Wands, is saying here, I'm a student of my eternity, of my passion, of my desire, of my fire forward. What is it that I want? And here, Cancer, we're being asked, what is it that we want, with the knowledge and the fire coming forward, with the truth that we need to live by, and the rolling up the sleeves and going after what we desire. That becomes a very important thing. What is it that I want? Where is it that I want to be? How is it that I want to move forward? And there is a sense here of having some sort of transmutation, transformation that brings us to our passion again, that brings us to the light at the end of the tunnel. And it brings us to our subconscious chakra message, which is spiritual awakening, the crown chakra. We are awakening into our knowledge, into our understanding, into a deeper truth. And there is a sense here of a veil being lifted, of doubt being seen, but also, kind of not moving past it, because it'll always be a part of us, but not being held back by it, having gained the wisdom from it. And it moves us then to the subconscious tarot message, which is the Eight of Pentacles. The hard work pays off. Again, it's another 8. You now have 4 8s, which are building the solid foundation of your existence, because it's a hard work, it's a dedication to detail that is coming forward. But it's saying here, you can get caught in the web of that detail. You can get caught in the web of what it is that is trying to be built. It's kind of like trying to create something and never being able to get past like the first sentence. You can't write a novel if you can't write the first sentence, right? You can't draw a picture if you can't get past the first line. So here, there is that sense of needing to look at the hard work, needing to look at everything that you have done, and letting yourself move past the scrutiny of, oh my gosh, it just has to be perfect, to the, oh my gosh, it just has to, it has to move forward. It has to get done. And I'm embracing this power to express my truth and to embrace my prosperity. And that's what Spirit desperately wants for you here, to jump into it, to embrace it, to move forward in the it that really does define you and makes you into this triumphant warrior. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as the battle is won and as truth is seen. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer.